looked at the fact that we want to give learners a voice, having looked at the fact that connection is critical, that the purpose of use, and then having no pressure for perfection, I would like us to provide basic steps on how those tools can be used. We've talked about Flipgrid, we've talked about Kahoot, Padlet, Nearpod. I would like us in our own way, just like we have used it in our classrooms, in our various spaces, what are those basic steps that we can share with our listeners now on how to use Flipgrid, Kahoot, Nearpod, and Padlet? So Taji, do you want to go first? Or Manuela, who wants to go first?
Okay, let me go first. Okay, I talked about Flipgrid earlier, but I use Kahoot too. It's a really, really exciting tool to use in the classroom. What I use it mainly for is before or after a lesson. So I try to find out if learning has taken place, because it's important as a teacher for you to know learning has taken place, not just putting the children there, because even with the use of technology, the children can be distracted if not properly monitored. So Kahoot helps in doing that as well. During the Kahoot session, we can actually set the questions together. You know, you sign into it, the place questions where we put it on the screen, and you know there is a game pin, so it gives them that feeling of playing a game in the class, and at the same time I am learning. Okay, I'm trying to show, oh, this is what I learned today. Okay, I learned something from the lesson today. So everybody gets to have a mobile device where they put the game pin. So the first person to tap in the right answers gets the highest score. So at the end of the session, we can have like a reward for the fastest team. It's also a very effective tool for collaboration. So you can actually group the children into group A, group B, group C. So everybody takes turn. The first person to tap the correct answer gets the top mark. So at the end of the questions, depending on the number of questions you want to work with, and it's also timed too. So you can add pictures. So there are lots of things you can actually make it very exciting too for your lesson. So at the end of the Kahoot, oh, team A won today with this point, team B won today. So the children look forward to something like that. And as a teacher, it helps you too to understand that, oh, what I taught today, the children actually got it. And secondly, there are some children that probably would not get certain things while you were teaching. That also can help them remember some of the things that went on during your class as well. So it's a very interesting tool to use in the classroom too.
Okay, so Manuela, would like you also to share your basic steps on the tech tool you like so much, looking at Flipgrid, Kahoot, Nearpod, and Padlet.
Nearpod, I've never used it. I know the name, but I've never used it. Yeah, so I can't talk about that. Kahoot, I think Taji said it all. About Flipgrid, I'm just a newbie as well. I'm trying to learn. So the first thing I had to understand was what is a grid and what is a topic after having my own account. And all of a sudden, everything makes sense. Okay, now I understand how to do that. I have many grids, many topics, and all the answers inside that. So that was my first step in learning Flipgrid. Padlet offers many opportunities. It's easy. We can embed it on a blog or on a website, anywhere. We can provide a QR code for the kids to just jump in and add their what they have to add. They can add video, they can add text, they can add pictures. So it's quite wide, the possibilities in Padlet. I also very fond of Sway because it makes good presentations as an option, as an alternative to PowerPoint. It's only working online. And I think it can help students improve their communication skills as well, you know, and it makes everything for us. So you just need to create an account and then start adding stuff. You can also add text, video, audio, pictures, anything, and the program makes everything beautiful presentations for you. You don't have to make an effort, big effort at least.
That's great. So can we have you,
So for me, I use Kahoot, Flipgrid, and Padlet on Classroom, and I use Padlet as a homework, and it's very collaborative tools for a student. You can insert sound, video. There is many option, many feature on Padlet. I use it especially on a twinning project. And Kahoot, especially Kahoot, I use it, I thought, more than 3 years. Since 2017, I use it on Classroom as assessment tools, okay? I have chosen Kahoot because I have used it severally in my lesson to assess and monitor my pupils' progress. The impact of the tools on my pupils has been tremendous, perfect, okay? Impact in my lesson where I have used Kahoot is the increased student engagement and motivation to learn and challenge themselves because there is competition while playing this game. Apart from the fact that Kahoot, it's a very effective online assessment tools, it also has broad gamification, okay? The sense learn while gaming, okay, while playing, okay? The gamification dimension to life to my classes. I has created an atmosphere of competition between students, which is very good thing to see in the classroom, really. The most, really, I will add something for teacher, for my colleague, that they play Kahoot as evaluation assessment in their lesson. The notice there is sounds or songs with Kahoot, okay? When you play Kahoot quiz, by hearing a specific sound, you can choose a specific sound, okay, that students love it, okay? And to remind all educators about the treasure or the importance of music on classroom, that creating and playing music gives a student, all students, not only students with special needs, a sense of accomplishment. So I wanna just give you a quick how to use it. Just subscribe, okay, to have account and start. You can make your own Kahoot and play other Kahoot that's provided the platform. It's free, it's not totally free, okay, but the feature provided, it's enough to play and to have motivation and energy on classroom. The pro version, it's better, I know, because it provides many other features. Is important too. So I really encourage all educators all around the world to use Kahoot on their classes, because I use it and I know the importance and really how really improve your student core skills and achievement, okay? You can know the weakness and the good of your student when you playing Kahoot and answering the question. You can select where is the laggers, the followers, the leader of student, who's answering correct, how's the don't answering. So you can, and at the end of every game, every quiz, you can download a report, okay? And it's really important. The report can gives you a percentage, numbers, and everything, okay? At the end of Kahoot, they can give their feedbacks by a big smiley, okay? And many other funny figures, okay, at the end of every games. It's really, I recommend Kahoot very much because I love it and I use it all the time, every session as assessment. And Flipgrid also, it's good to improve our student voices, and I give it for homework, and I use it in many projects, many PBL project, basic problem solving project, and especially on my my SDGs project, because I, in every activities, I'm trying not only to teach coding, I'm trying to teach coding with a goal. Okay, I just integrate one goal. Today, I want to teach, for example, coding to save environment, to climate change, to save animals at risk of extinction, for example, as example. Okay, so I really recommend the 3 tools. The 4th tools, I never use it necessarily in my classes, but Flipgrid, Padlet, and Kahoot, especially Kahoot, it's perfect in classes for student achievement and ameliorate, improve their skills and their academic result at the end of the year. I really remark this because I use it more than 3 years. I use it, and I know how it is important to use it in our school and with our students.
Okay, thanks. Great. Can we hear you, Lisa?
Okay, I've used Kahoot. I agree with all the ladies that talked about Kahoot. I've used it as a blind Kahoot. So at the beginning, one time I was teaching The Great Gatsby. There's a chapter that's really long, and you really can't get the kids to read it because they look at the pages and they're like, ugh. So I made a blind Kahoot, and I just put the quotes from the book that were really racy. And then they were from the characters. They really knew the characters. This was around chapter 7. And they started to write down what they thought these quotes meant, even though they hadn't read it. And then afterwards, what I did was I had them draw at the bottom of a Go formative. I used formative a lot too. So we had the Kahoot, and then I had them actually look at the quotes and draw something that they thought that was going on with the relationship of the characters. And as soon as I said, and now you're going to find out what's really going on, they all grabbed their books and they just started reading, and they were so excited. And they were like, oh no, I can't believe this is happening. And it was just so fun to watch them excited about something that they didn't even know what they were going to learn. With Flipgrid, I agree when they're saying you need to get on there and understand the grid, understand the topic, understand how to do everything. Also, they have certifications, so you can be different certifications. You can be an ambassador for Flipgrid as well. And they do have, like, Carly Mora and Sean Pehe. They always make different Flipgrid manuals that are nice as well. And there's a whole community out there. And I think with a lot of the companies, they have a really good base of people. And so if you would follow them and become part of their professional learning network, then you would understand how to use the product. I don't use Padlet, but I do use Google Slides, and I use it just like a Padlet. Each student is given a number, and that's their slide number. They can add anything they would on a Padlet, and then I just put it in grid view, and I publish it so that they can see it in grid view, and they can watch it in grid view. So that was a workaround whenever they started to actually charge. Alice Keeler came up with that one. So I just like companies that think about the teacher and adapt to the teacher. And Kahoot does that, Nearpod, Padlet, Flipgrid. But you know, there's all kinds of stuff out there. So whatever you can adapt for your students is best.
I'd like to add one more thing to the Kahoot. It adds emotion, as Taji said. So the gamification, Taji Dua, I think. The gaming, it's important, so they get their emotions, so they learn more if emotion is attached to learning. And about Flipgrid, I think it can also be good for me to help me assess the students. For instance, this year I have this QR code challenges. So students have to at the end of the challenge, they have to record them playing something. So because I don't have time to watch everything at the same time, then I get home and I watch all the videos on Flipgrid, and that helps me understand what they did in the lesson.
It also helps you the next day plan what you're going to do with them, because you've listened to them and you know where they are as learners.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, basically for me, I've used Padlet, Flipgrid and Kahoot, but I find Nearpod really interesting. Nearpod offers a lot of STEM-based resources. So the basic steps is for you to actually create your account, and then you can add your learners. So just the same way you have Kahoot, where you share class codes, it is also the same with Nearpod. But one interesting thing about Nearpod is you create folders of topics that you like so much, so that whenever you return to your platform, you don't start scouting for topics or resources all over again. So it makes you arrange your content. So just like the same way you arrange your physical files, everything is done virtually. So you walk into class and you're able to pick the topic you want. Another interesting thing about Nearpod, it gives an educator an opportunity to curate his or her own content. So you're not just a consumer, you also produce your content as well. And midway into the content you've provided, it allows your learners an opportunity to actually collaborate, discuss, and debate on a topic before they share their answers. That I find for me very interesting, because kids learn so much when they engage each other. Sometimes they're like, oh teacher, we've had enough of you, let's have ourselves. Just like we mentioned earlier, how do you give learners a voice? So Nearpod gives learners that voice. I've used Nearpod a lot for STEM-based topics. They have virtual reality content such that you can be in your classroom and you're outside your classroom. One interesting sessions I held was the Great Wall of China. I know here in Africa, how many of us have gone to China? But people were able to see the Great Wall of China. They were also able to do underwater exploration. I know a lot of people do this aquatic real life thing in Dubai, but here in the classroom, these kids were able to see underwater. It also allows you to incorporate videos too in your class and your sessions, but ultimately it gives these learners an opportunity to do what? To share and discuss right there and then in the classroom. And you also, at the end of each session, you will see there's also an opportunity to add a quiz into your session, and you now see the rating at the end of the day. So Nearpod for me does a whole lot. It makes you not just a content consumer, but a creator as well, which for me is the basic skill for an educator, creation, so that you pass on that skill of creativity to your learners. So there's a whole lot of things out there. It is just like we also mentioned earlier, connecting with your fellow educator gives you an access to a whole lot of things that you haven't experienced before. Because if you want to do it all by yourself, wow, the journey is going to be a long one. But if you want to really go very far, you go with people. Because I know sometimes I say, Manuela, I don't think I've gotten my hands on this new Skype tool that they just deployed. How do we go about this? And yes, she's far away, but she just sent me a Skype response. This is how we're going to do it. Or I reach out to Taji.